Hello my friends, Paul here in the RoJoBe Music Workshop, and welcome to part 5 of the double neck guitar humbucker upgrade. Okay, so in the previous episode I showed you what the problem was with the humbucker being microphonic, basically picking up all the sounds from around the body of the instrument as well as the pickup itself, which means it's microphonic. Now apparently the way to solve that is to basically coat the whole thing in wax. It's called wax potting, and so that's what I'm going to try and do. Hopefully it'll work. So let me just turn the camera around a bit, tilt it down. So I've got my rig all set up. I can tell you this has taken a long time to get this regulated to the right temperature, which is 65 degrees centigrade. So I've got my hot plate, and on that I've got a mess tin with water in it. Inside that I've got an old dog food tin with the wax in it and the thermometer. So yeah, it's taken well over an hour to regulate this, to get it down to the right temperature, which is 65 degrees centigrade. It's currently sitting at 68, which is fine. It's sort of hovering up and down between like 63 and 69, so that's more or less where I need it. So what I need to do is put the humbucker into the wax, obviously making sure I keep the wire out, or as much of it as possible. So I've got a couple of little clips here to hold it in place. So let's get started on that. So very carefully just lower the humbucker into the wax, and this will need to stay in for 10 to 15 minutes. Right, so I'll put one clip on there to hold the wire still and keep the rest of the wire up there. Okay, so that's that setup ready to go. Now, while that's marinating, I want to turn my attention to something else on the guitar. So let me just get the guitar first. So I want to be careful not to knock my rig here. Okay, so the control panel here, I've got one of the pots out, obviously, because I've taken the humbucker off. So the original control knobs I had for this are these ones. Let me just put them on quickly. So these are nice big chunky steel, as far as I know, control knobs, and these are the proper ones for this kind of control panel. So that's 3 of them on there, and they look great, but for my money they just seem a little bit too chunky for this instrument. I don't know, they just seem a little bit too chunky. They just look a little bit out of proportion to the rest of the guitar. It's quite hard for you to see this, I guess, but I think they just look a little bit too chunky. So that's the original ones, and I bought some more smaller ones, which are not as good quality, I have to be honest. They're very plasticky. Let me just take these ones off and put the new ones on. So these are smaller, i.e. narrower, and they're not as shiny as those other ones, and to be honest they're not as well made, but personally I think that looks better. It's not so chunky, and you know, they're not going to get in your way so much, and there's more room to actually turn the controls. So as I said, in my opinion they look better. But why not let me know in the comments below, do you prefer the original big controls or these smaller ones? Like I said, personally I prefer these, and you know, whoever, if ever, buys this guitar, you know, it will be down to their preference as well. But like I said, for my money, I do prefer these smaller ones. But like I said, let me know in the comments below. Do you prefer the big ones The original ones or these small ones? Let me know, because I think they look in better proportion, but they're not quite as good quality as the original ones. The original larger ones are better quality. I mean, they've got some weight to them, and you know they're nicely made, and they're certainly better quality than these. But I just think that these look more in proportion to this guitar. So yeah, let me know what you think. Now this humbucker needs to stay in this wax for like 10 to 15 minutes. What's it been in now? About, I don't know, about 5 minutes. So I want to leave it in for another 10 minutes. I want to make sure that I do as good a job as possible on this. And the temperature seems to be staying at around 68, so that's about right. Happy with that. Because I did an experiment with this setup. Let me just turn the camera around a bit. I did an experiment with this setup on one of the other humbuckers that I'd taken apart. So I just did the internal part of it. Now I didn't take the time to regulate the heat of the wax, so it was quite a bit hotter than it should have been. It was around sort of 75 to 80 degrees, which is a lot hotter than it should be. And once I finished and let it cool, and I checked it over, and to me it didn't look all that much different to how it did before. So my guess, my theory is that because the wax was too hot, it was too liquid, it was too thin. So when I took it out, most of it just kind of drained out and didn't really coat it properly. Now with this wax at this temperature, sort of between 60 and 70, but 65 is optimum. It seems to, I've dipped this wooden dowel into it just to stir it, and as soon as I took it out, it started to solidify almost straight away. So that was completely different to when I did the other one. So again, my theory is because it was too hot, it was too thin, too liquidy, and it didn't really coat it properly. So I'm hoping with this one, it's going to do a better job. And like I said, I really, really hope it does solve the problem. Because I've tried a few other different things, simple fixes, none of which seem to make any difference. So if this doesn't, I don't really know what else I can do. However, I did make these off camera. It's just a little wooden box with well, it's actually got hinges on it, which I'll use as fasteners to screw it down. It's just a wooden box, and inside, I don't know if you can see that, but I've got that Faraday fabric, shielding fabric. Thank you so much. The shielding fabric that I bought the other day and showed you on the previous video. So as I said, this is 3 layers. The inner layer is copper, and then it's got fabric on the 2 outer layers. So I've lined this little wooden box with that stuff. Actually, I've done 2 of these, the same. And they will go inside the guitar over the back of the humbucker, like that. So that's obviously not very good, but it goes over the humbucker, and it's what we call a Faraday cage. So it basically seals all of the electronic waves, radio waves, whatever they are. It holds it all in and insulates it from everything else. Now that might make a difference. Again, I'm not holding my breath with that, but I might try that. If this, wax potting doesn't work, just switch that thermometer back on. Then that's something else I can try. But I don't know. We'll see. Again, like I said, I'm really, really hoping that this wax potting will work. It should do, because with the research I've done, mentioning the problem of microphonic pickups, and this is exactly what it said. I mean, I know about wax potting pickups anyway. I've known about it for a long time, but most pickups these days should come from the factory already wax potted, even the cheap ones. But, you know, like I said, it's not going to hurt to try it. It certainly won't make it any worse. If it doesn't make any improvement, then, well, I might just have to live with it, but it is annoying. So, what else was I going to talk about? I can't remember now. No, it's gone from my head. Right, okay, so I'm going to leave this in the wax for another, I don't know, 3-4 minutes, something like that. Yeah, it would have been about 5 past, it's now 16 minutes past. And, you know, if it works, great. If it doesn't work, like I said, it's annoying, but I don't really know what else I can do. I mean, I've tried all the simple fixes. This is a simple fix, really, probably simpler than some of the other stuff I've done. I mean, you know, making this little Faraday cage, be surprised how long they took to make 2 of them. And again, they won't do any harm at all. You know, they may or may not improve a little bit. They certainly won't do any harm. So once I've you know, done the wax potting on this pickup, today is Sunday. I've actually got, you know, quite a few classes cancelled today, so I've had some free time to get all this done. I was going to leave it until tomorrow, my day off, but I thought, you know, while I've got time, I want to get this done and then leave it overnight. Once I take it out of the wax, leave it overnight to set and harden and cool properly before I start to put the thing back together. So that's what I will be doing tomorrow, Monday. I'll be putting the whole thing back together. Well, I'm going to put the pickup back in, solder it to the pot, and then try it, see if it's worked or not, and then go from there. But either way, you know, then the next stage is going to be to rebuild the guitar, put it all back together. I mean, I haven't had the back on this thing since I, you know, since I ripped it off weeks ago. So even that, putting the back on, might actually make a difference to this problem. I don't know. And on that subject, this is something I haven't showed you up until now. I've used some of this cork stuff that I bought, and I've put it all the way around the edge on the top here, or on the back, to act as a gasket, so that when I put the back on, it's snug fitting, there's no vibration, it's all sealed, and you know, any gaps or anything are taken up. And I've also put a strip of it along the top of this divider as well, to make sure everything all fits nice and tight and it's sealed. And you know, I have a suspicion that might even help a little bit. I don't know, it may do, it may not. We'll only find out when I put the thing back together. Anyway, enough waffling. That pickup is about ready to come out of this wax now, so let me just angle the camera back down to my setup. And right, I need some kitchen towel to rest the thing on, to drain basically, and another piece that I can use to wipe off the excess wax off of the top and preferably the sides of the pickup as well. So first of all, I'll turn this hot plate off and unplug it just to be safe. Okay, so let's just take these clips off, and it will be time to take it out. Let me just move that rig up out of the way so you can see a bit better what I'm doing. How's that? That's okay. Right, so out it comes, and I'm going to put it on top of here, facing up, so that I can, you know, wipe the excess off the top and sides of the pickup, and hopefully not too much of the wax will drain out, but who knows. Oh, stuck to the bottom. Right, here we go, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so just wipe off the excess wax while it's still liquid. Oh, that's hot. So you can do this once it's dried, but obviously at this stage it is much, much easier to get the wax off, the majority of it at least. Dang, that's hot. 65 degrees to be honest, or to be precise. Yeah, it seems to be drawing the wax up through the screws and the posts as well, but it looks alright. Try and get it off the sides as well. Whoa. Okay. It's hard to see actually if it's still on there or not. It's basically invisible. I can still see some on this side. Oh my god, that's hot. Feels like that was a lot hotter than 65 degrees, but maybe not. Right, find a dry bit of the paper. I think that's pretty good. Definitely still see that there is some left on the sides. I want to try and get as much off as I can. It doesn't really matter if I don't get it all off. I mean, you know, it'll act as protection anyway. Ooh. But I at least want the top to be nice and clear and shiny. And as I said, as I'm wiping it, it's kind of drawing the wax up through the screws and the posts. Let me just get a clean bit of tissue. Quite soaked in wax now. Right, I'll do the sides one more time. That's better, that's taking more of it off. That's better. Okay, I'll use the other side to do the top. Oh, that's looking better. Okay, I think that's good. So I'm now going to leave that overnight. Just tilt that camera up a bit. So I'm going to leave that overnight to do its thing. Why is that stuck? I see why. The wax has soaked right through. I'll get a couple more pieces of that kitchen towel. Don't want to stain my carpet on here too much. Carefully lift that onto there. That's better. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to leave that overnight to cool and harden properly. Just make sure it's not going to stick to it anywhere. Should be fine. And yeah, so tomorrow I'll be reassembling the guitar. See if that's worked. Fingers crossed. Okay, so that's going to be the end of this video. Hope you're enjoying watching this little mini project. The upgrade of the pickups on this double neck guitar. And like I said, I hope this worked, but if not, then, you know, it is what it is. I'm really enjoying working on this instrument, and like I said, if you're enjoying watching these videos as much as I am making them, please, please, please leave a comment, thumbs up, share with friends and family, etc. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell, because I'm releasing videos 2 or 3 times a week now, on average. Sometimes it might be a week or 2 between videos, but most of the time I do release at least 1 or 2 videos a week. And yeah, I am trying to get the figures on the channel up. I mean, they are going up a little bit slowly, but they're going up. So thank you all for watching. Please take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we will see you soon. Peace out.